Hello and welcome. Time for another detailed altcoin analysis video. Today's date is the 5th of July 2018. We're going to take a look at ticker symbol KORE, that of Core. Current rank is really poor or very low in that of 661, thus a very low market cap because that's what the ranking is from. Its market cap $3.5 million, only 525 Bitcoin, which means its volume is really low, only 2 Bitcoin per day or $14,000. It's only that of price, which pays. So whether you're playing a market that trades at hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in market cap and even in volume for that matter, many a millions, or whether it trades in 15,000. If you're trying to play for a few hundred or many hundreds of dollars, over 1,000 even, then maybe this can work out. But if you're going much more than that, you can see when it's only trading at 14,000, it can be very difficult in doing things like buying large amounts, even just being $2,000-$3,000 worth of such, because you could effectively make the prices go up or down. And in such, if you're buying, that means you will be buying at a much higher buy average than any other larger volume coin you would buy for the same equivalency. Same thing when you sell it, that you could sell it down yourself 2, 3, 4%, 5% so easy with only such a low equity when the volume is this low. Again, it's only price that pays. And all the information that you get from this and whatever you decide to do is always your own risk reward. For me, risk reward management is always job number one. Only two places in which I see that this is trade: $10,000 worth at the Bittrex exchange and about $4,500 in the last 24 hours on the Upbit exchange. They both have the exact same price at $1.72. For if you can trade on both sites, if one price is significantly higher than the other, then you could arbitrage it back to its fair value, and that pretty much gets done with these markets. I did a search for my YouTube videos on that of Core. The last time I talked about it was May 20th, and they had a huge pump that morning. Then March the 3rd, I talked about Core. February 19th, I talked about buy low, sell high using INFX and Core. So if you're interested in that, that basically explains the strategy that I'll be going over. I have to presume most people are familiar with it, so if you're not, very good video to watch. Anything back in time is whatever code. I've done about 20 or more, or around 20 or less probably, different codes showing the buy low, sell high. Technical analysis on November 28th, 9/24, 9/17, 9/16. So something happened in the middle of September, and it had a huge pump on May the 20th, and it was pretty popular February 19th, March the 3rd, and March the 3rd. So we take a look at this on May the 20th. Oh, this day here. When you have a market that goes from like 58,000 back down to this, well, there's opportunity to get a few sell orders in place. And then this move, February here, definitely was a big one. September, things were going on. And we can see here that it was having a spectacular rally. They're going to go up, they're going to go down. There is in the crypto coin codes, and of course this one as well. So even though this is trade with low volume, if you have your sell orders in place, maybe you want to play for small gains around 30,000 or all the bigger ones. When markets move there, you can see they can do so quite fast. Now, as far as these lines are concerned, when we look at this on a weekly chart, it does not have the proper log scale. If we quickly take a look at the chart on coin market cap, what we can see here, this is the linear scale. If we go to log, okay, so it's had this little bit of move in here, rallying, price correction, and it's then been going sideways since. So you can see how it could come back to where it comes from, and that would be just normal for a chart to do it. And basically what that means, when you look at it on a linear scale, or even a combination of this but more linear, it makes it look like a move to 5,600 is just so drastic. And then if you think of the number games game, that's about a 4x move. That would seem very drastic as well. Therefore, within the Fibonacci analysis, it has had 3 support tests. This is the third at the 21 level, but only 2 since the top. It happened to be a key area where you had one large intra-move correction. You go from 11,000 after a huge rally down to 25. So a correctionary move amongst the weekly term time frame like this had that big of a move, and opportunities for everything you buy here you could sell going forward. So fantastic when you have this kind of volatility. So to think it's a surprise to see it make a move if it breaks below it. Well, since it hit support there in December, there has been 1, 2, 3 different occasions in which it has resisted this, what works out to be a 23.6% down mark. This is the 38.2. I would fully expect, if it falls from here, for it to go from 56. That's the if. It is still holding this when these cryptos are ready to go. If all of them go up at one time, where it's getting to the point where you throw darts on a dartboard to choose which cryptos to pick, well, if you buy them before they all go up, it wouldn't matter which one you pick. Meaning, let's just assume you have a dartboard with like 100 or 200 or every crypto you can buy on whatever exchange, and you throw like 3 or 4 darts, 5 darts, and you have 5 different coins. If you get a situation like we had last December with the coins, even for the month of April, you'll notice that every single coin is going to go up, and this would be no exception. So keep that in mind as well. Also worth noting is delisting. This has only got the 2 Bitcoin average volume. It's traded very low. So at any given time, you can see a situation where maybe Bittrex is delisting this coin. And when you have that, you're going to see a major amount of selling. This thing would not, you'd be lucky if you found support at 5,600. It would probably even go to 2,400 and lower as a possibility of a big, quick move if a situation like that is to exist. It's been in an okay trend, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it cannot be delisted. I've seen markets looking a little bit better than this with the same similar lower volume. All of a sudden, out of the blue, just delist itself off of the Bittrex exchange. And if we look at this on the US dollar, this is calculated by TradingView. We can see in here that this move has got an uptrend like here, but it's still having battle within this 18 average of highs. So there's a chance that this thing could get going, and maybe we are at a bottom. But if it does, you could fill some of this empty space. There's a previous high all the way up to $5. So the April Fool's high got up pretty good. And then the major retracement. Now you can't trade this against that of the US dollar, but you kind of can. For even though it's only exchanged against Bitcoin, what you would need to do is, if you wanted to buy this, you'd sell US dollars for Bitcoin that you would need to buy this. You'd buy this and you own it. And then maybe you sell it up here when it's 270. So whatever the Bitcoin price is, you'd sell it there. And then you can buy the US dollar tether or sell your Bitcoin, whichever way you would do it towards. So this can be traded amongst such. And there's, again, big volatility. But this $5 high wasn't the high. For it got up to about $12 on multiple occasions. Got up there in the before Halloween of last year. And there's been some volatile up and down movements of extreme volatility, which is why if you're looking to try to profit from the high amounts, coins like this most certainly offer that situation. But if we scroll even further back, this thing was down to about 0011. That represents 1/9 of 1 penny. 1/9 of a penny. Meaning 1 cent would give you 9 of those amongst this. Even from here, we're looking at a third of a penny, where it was easy to even trade it and such. And this level here is 2 cents, 3 cents area. That was a pretty extreme run-up. For if you were to be a smartass when this was a half a penny, because you knew maybe this thing was going to go way up, and you bought $1,000 worth, or even $500 worth even, that's a better number. $500 worth at a half a penny. That means when it comes up to $7 or even the $10 mark, well, your gain from 10 to $1 is 10 times. 10 cents, 100 times. 1 penny, 1,000 times. So at a half a cent, you'd have a 2,000 gain on $500, which would work out to 6-figure. That's the wild moves this can make. And the market doesn't care if you're winning big or losing big to the point that only price pays. If you did the action of buying in these levels, you sold it in here for Bitcoin, maybe you bought US dollars, and they would stay at that. Maybe at $100,000, you bought 100,000 USDT. The market doesn't care you have that many. And then you end up buying it back, and you can, whatever. I mean, you can make phenomenal amounts of income. You can lose phenomenal amount of your capital in a game as volatile as this plays through. Now, if you look at Fibonacci here, we got a high of about $10.50. So I'm going to put in 1,050 cents. Now it was down to 1/9 of 1 penny, so technically that would be 0.1111. Key numbers: $1.21 and that of 32 cents. So let's just place a horizontal ray at 121. It's not that far away, and 32 cents. Now here's of note. If this was an artificial move, then maybe you'd be better off using a number like 3. Either way, well, that would make the lines go up a bit. So that's something worth noting. For if we use the same calculation, at 1/3 of a penny, then now it's $1.57 and it's 48 cents. And if you use $1.57 on here, well, then you're pretty much at it. Although it's still a little iffy, because one might say that this counts as a decent pierce above a key point. But the bottom line is, when markets go up, they go down, all that type of stuff. So they've been down. And even though calling tops and bottoms is something that can be very difficult, to the tune of, if you're buying here and you're wrong, you were still profiting. Because even though you could have bought cheaper, price got well much higher. If you thought this was a bottom, you were wrong. But it also meant you could buy, or it ended up resulting in selling for profit up here. If you thought this was the bottom back then, you didn't get the buy-in, you couldn't sell any of these moves. So when you look at where you buy, you're buying when the price action is at and below, playing with the 18 lows in a downtrend, which would be like in here. It would be in here, down here, and well, again. But you're in a situation, this thing could fall, you could think this is the bottom, and maybe it does come down here, And maybe it still works out that this is a good buy and that it goes from 32 cents over 5 or $8 from there. And that's always possible. But these things go down so hard that they could be doing the delisting thing. Coin is really bad. I don't know its fundamentals to the point where it just goes to nothing. And when you're holding this, that's always amongst the risk. The delisting issue could make this go really hard. And you could have a move that goes like this, and maybe you call this as the bottom, and you're right, but the other sale doesn't do much because you end up getting something like this before this maybe ultimately bottoms at like 4 cents before having a 1 year rally back up again to $1.50. These are the situations that could occur. And at the same time, this thing can end up bottoming at this point, having a move. Who knows? Maybe the next rally might get above this, get to like 25 or 30 or 50. And then its pullback might, for a year or 12 or 16 months, hold and stay above $5. Those are the possible high volatile things that can happen. And when you profit from volatility, the market doesn't care if you're making a whole whack of coin or losing a whole whack. It's only going to pay out price, because only price pays. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.